Okay, hi everyone. I saw this video a few times, and I'm trying to understand it. I'm a little bit confused. There seems to be a lot of doublethink and double standards going on here, and I'd appreciate if you'd share your thoughts. Please give me an honest debate, right? I find no value in just agreeing with me, as the only real value comes in life when someone points out where your thinking is flawed, and that's what I'm asking for in the comments here. So let's check this video out and see if we can unpack this together, okay?
Thanks very much for joining me. We are living in a dangerous and unprecedented moment in American history. And I'm getting a lot of calls from people who are not only upset about what's happening, but are wondering how we best go forward. Well, let me tell you, we've got to be smart, we've got to be organized, and we've got to fight back. This is not a time for wallowing in despair and hiding under the covers.
Okay, so Bernie's asking, how do we move forward? He's saying instead of wallowing under the covers, oh no, I'm too scared, fight back. So his vision for this country is to fight back. That's how we're going to move forward, by fighting.
The stakes are just too high. We're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for our kids, for future generations. We're fighting for the future of this planet. In the first 2 weeks of his presidency, Donald Trump defied the Constitution by ending birthright citizenship, fired government watchdogs, allowed drilling along our coastlines, pardoned violent insurrectionists, suspended all foreign aid, and tried to cut off virtually all federal funding. So, how do we go forward? First, to be effective, we've got to understand what, in fact, is happening around us right now. Second, we need a short-term strategy. What do we do tomorrow and the next day and the day after that? Third, we need a long-term strategy. How do we build a movement that gains political power? Here is...
Okay, right off the bat, the last thing that he mentioned is, how do we gain a political movement for political power? So he wants you to fight for his own political power, is how I'm reading what he, if we're to boil down what he's saying. And he gives a bunch of reasons why we should fight for his political power.
In my view, a brief overview as to what is happening under Trump. Most importantly, the move toward oligarchy in our country, government run by the rich and the powerful, is proceeding rapidly. And it's not being done secretly.
Well, I find this kind of hypocritical, because Bernie is a billionaire. He's rich. I'm not part of the Bernie class. But so he's trying to fight other billionaires and millionaires? Okay. We'll see. We'll see. But I will say this: Bernie has only gained his billionaire status through public service, through being a politician all of his life. He didn't make or create any goods or services. He only creates lip service. And that's how, in books, right? He's written books, and that's how he became a billionaire, right? By being a politician.
A little over a week ago, Donald Trump was inaugurated for his second term. Standing right behind him were the three richest men in the world: Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg. Men who have become over $200 billion richer since Trump was elected, and who now are worth almost $1 trillion more money than the bottom half of American society, 170 million people.
Okay, well, just so you know, right? I understand the statistics. I'm not part of that class either. But Bernie, I'm not part of your class either. You have millionaires and billionaires supporting your campaign. Pharmaceutical companies, the military industrial complex. So it seems very hypocritical to be him speaking out for against millionaires and billionaires and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, who actually create goods and services that help society in a positive way, when he makes his money by giving us rhetoric.
But it's not just oligarchy that we should worry about. This country under Trump is moving rapidly toward authoritarianism. Just a few examples. In violation of the Constitution and federal law, Trump attempted the other day to suspend all federal grants and loans. That means he blocked funding for Medicaid, Head Start, food stamps, homeless veterans, etc., etc. Tens of millions of Americans, some of the most vulnerable people in our country, were impacted by that decision. Fortunately, Americans all across the country stood up in outrage and said, no, no. And with the help of the courts.
Well, part of that is true, but it seems like he is giving a very one-sided view on the whole situation, right? If you research it, you actually dive deep into these subjects. Yeah, they did cut funding on different federally funded organizations, and then they did backtrack it, right? But I think that one thing that he's leaving out in his one-sided assessment is that our country is going broke. We are so far in debt that the people that he's claiming to help, right, are suffering as a result of our massive debt. So there's more than one side. Matter of fact, there's more than two sides to everything. There's multiple perspectives, multiple sides. Please keep that in mind when hearing his very one-sided, closed-minded opinions on the situation.
Much, but not all of that treason funding was rescinded. You may have noticed that Trump is intimidating the media with lawsuits against ABC, CBS, Meta, and the Des Moines Register. If Trump does not like what media reports, he is threatening them with lawsuits, undermining the First Amendment. That is a direct movement toward authoritarianism.
Okay, so they're defamation lawsuits, right? And if these lawsuits aren't just, right, in a perfect world, our court system will in fact, decide whether or not it's legit. But after all the lawsuits that have been thrown at Trump and his associates, and also given the fact that censoring a president and stopping the freedom of speech and ideas with this idea of mis and dis and malinformation, right, which he has supported, is in fact a direct movement towards authoritarianism as well. The fact that Trump is suing these organizations that for defamation lawsuits is not censorship of speech. What Bernie himself has promoted and also ran on is a direct movement towards authoritarianism.
Now, that's a very broad overview of where we are today.